Okay, what up, friendos? We're talking today about Escape from Tarkov. And I know it's old news, right? Why didn't I cover it a couple of days ago when it was super relevant and actually occurring? And well, I wanted to wait and let the dust settle, so to speak, and see what the outcome was going to be. Because if you followed Tarkov and you followed their, press releases, their public statements and things like that, you just knew it was always going to get worse. They were always going to dig the hole. And you also knew, because Tarkov's such a niche game with little to no competition, at least no competition before, what's upcoming, their fan base would forgive them very easily, and they'd move on once they got something that they considered to be a W. Now, I'm obviously not talking about the whole community. I'm just talking about the content creators would probably go back to playing the game because, they make a living doing so. And people would broadly think that any kind of, take-backsies and walking something back would be viewed in a super positive light and that they'd won. I'm here to say that obviously you've not won. You've lost. And this company is going to continue to lose as things go on, because what happened was obviously the canary in the coal mine for this business, for this game. They've obviously proven by doing this that they don't care about you as any level of supporter or fan of the game, regardless of whether you gave them $50 or $150 or $250. They don't care. And the thing that this illustrates most is that the people who are the biggest supporters of the game, the people that originally gave them, $150 or whatever it was for EOD, which was the top level package of the game, which gave you a bunch of pay to win perks, and we'll go over that in a minute. They specifically really don't care about you, and they see you as freeloaders if you're not going to continually pump in money, and they don't know how to get you to pump in money without fucking up the whole game, lying to you, stealing from you, cheating you out of what you were owed. And let's go over it. So to begin with, if you didn't follow the Tarkov drama, what happened? What caused all the issues? Well, basically, if you go on their website now, by the way, I'm going to be saying a lot of very harsh words towards this company in this video, just to let you know. These guys are fucking morons. They're utterly incompetent. They're some of the stupidest game developers I've ever seen, I think. And that's saying something considering the sort of stuff we've covered on these channels over the years. So basically, Tarkov, if you want to play Tarkov right now, it's $50, right? You pay $50, you jump into the game, you get the standard edition, and there's editions all the way up to... Originally, there was one called EOD, and EOD is no longer being sold, which is an issue in and of itself, because there's perks within EOD that could be considered pay to win by anybody who's engaging with the concept of like paying for an advantage. And obviously, when the package goes away, then you keep those things locked behind that package and then further bolster those things in that package, which we'll come to in a little while. Obviously, that means that anyone who comes in after you is at a distinct disadvantage from the very beginning of the game every wipe, which is obviously when things are supposed to be the most even, other than knowledge and a skill base issue. So EOD originally, you paid like $140, $150, whatever it was. You get a bunch of stuff, and in buying EOD, it said explicitly, you are promised all of the future DLCs for the game. Now, obviously, anybody with a fucking brain, with two brain cells to rub together, knows if then a downloadable patch comes out, which has new content in the game and it's behind a paywall, that's a DLC. Obviously, Tarkov developers decided to gaslight everybody in the industry by saying, no, it's not a DLC. And they released the dumbest edition of a game ever called The Unheard. And why is it unheard? Well, because nobody should have ever heard it. It should have never made it out of the fucking think tank who came up with this one. So this is just the new, big version of the game, only with an incredibly higher price tag of $250. What you get in here are pay-to-win perks and more stuff that the EOD people didn't get. But the big thing here that everyone obviously lost their shit about was the access to PvE co-op mode. Obviously, this page has been altered a little bit, I believe, since all the drama kicked off due to what has happened. But basically, it was PvE, right? Which is something people have been asking about in Tarkov for a very long time, and is again, another issue of why this company is dumb as fuck. But basically, the PvE mode was only in the Unheard edition. You can check all these, it's not in them. So you've got to pay $250 to get access to PvE co-op mode. Now, obviously, they then also said that the people who had EOD, who paid the $150 and were told you get all future DLCs, they said you've got to upgrade to this other version for like $100 or whatever for you to get access to the PvE mode, which obviously is then going back on their word of selling you something, saying you'll get access to all DLC in the future, and obviously, but not this one. You've got to pay $100 to get this one, and then obviously get all of these other pay-to-win perks that you don't currently have in your already pay-to-win version that you have. Now, of course, people went crazy about this because, I mean, this is some level of, I'm not going to say specifically fraud. When people go to prison for selling NFTs and rug pulling them by saying, oh, if you buy this NFT in this roadmap, we'll do X, Y, and Z, and then they take your money and don't deliver on X, Y, and Z, the district attorney for the Southern District of New York, which usually prosecutes these people, says specifically, if you take money from somebody and say, for this money, I'll do this thing, and then you don't do the thing, that's the basic level of fraud, and that's what people are being prosecuted, charged, indicted, and actually going to prison for. This is, a matter of fact. So when a game developer says, give me money for this thing, and then they just don't give you the thing later, I don't know what else to call it other than fraud. You could call it false advertising. Obviously, the chances that anyone actually goes to prison for something like this is almost fucking zero. But I could obviously see something like a civil case going forward if this were to continue. I think it's that open and shut. But this is there's so much law here that happened in such a short period of time that obviously this is going to be a mouthful. So when this happened, everyone obviously went crazy, and the Tarkov developers are fucking brain dead. So what they did was come out and do the classic double down. They did the classic double down. Now, obviously, some of the things that were posted on the Tarkov subreddit, if you go on the top weekly, there'll be some of the classics. And the classics are, as you can see in their Discord, they said, it ain't DLC, it's unique feature of the new edition added. It's DLC. They got repeatedly community noted on their Twitter for saying this. They also decided, for whatever reason, and I'm not going to go dig it out because you'll just have to believe me, they also saw a competitor to Tarkov posting saying, oh, if you're a Tarkov refugee, if you are a big Tarkov fan and you want to come play our game, it's, the test's happening soon. And Tarkov retweeted them saying something like, enjoy your 20 minutes in this blatant plagiarized game, which is obviously accusing them of stealing from Tarkov. Now, obviously, there should be a language barrier here because they're Russian developers, but they're based in the UK as a business. And I'll tell you firsthand, like, everybody should know this, the barrier for a defamation in the UK is... that's defamation. They could literally sue you in the UK for that and just outright win because you have no evidence of plagiarism, which obviously they're accusing them of stealing Tarkov, which would be like World of Warcraft, accusing Final Fantasy XIV of plagiarism when there is no stolen content whatsoever. It's just a game in the same genre. So they're accusing them of stealing from them, which is fucking stupid in the first place. And they obviously got community noted on that as well. So they were going on a full offensive during these couple of days, trying to speedrun their game's success, their company's reputation. They were going full fucking hog on this one. And I've obviously always said that Tarkov has had two things going for it. One is that they were first to market, so they managed to scoop up a bunch of people that really like their product and are loyal to the product. And two, there's no competitors for the game. So when you then have competitors and you fuck over your whole fan base, you've got really nothing going for you. As soon as a competitor comes out that's actually as good as Tarkov, this game's fucking buried. I just don't see it going any other way because these people are dumb as fuck. But here we go. Hello, Tarkov citizen. This was their initial response, and this is from Nikita. To honor the owners of the EOD version and their indelible importance and role in the EFT universe, we plan to add the following new unique features to the EOD edition, and then a bunch of shit that's pay to win. Like, basically, we've heard you complaining that this new edition has pay to win, and people don't want that. You know, typically, by and large, people that are playing hardcore games mostly want them to be competitive due to skill and knowledge and not money spent. So the idea that you're going to put a bunch of new stuff that makes the EOD edition that you cannot buy anymore, which means everyone who buys in after this point is at a distinct disadvantage immediately, inherently, when they start the game. The idea you're going to put a bunch of this stuff in as a response to people saying, no, actually, you owe us this thing that we bought and you're not delivering and you're gaslighting and lying to us, just means that they're fucking brain dead. They don't understand. But obviously, we'll go over in a minute that some of this has been walked back. What they said, though, was that you're going to get high priority matching for EOD owners for 6 months. So basically, in an attempt to not continue pissing in the mouth of their biggest fans, we'll just piss in the mouth of all the other fans. You know, we'll just make them have a worse game experience to try and make the people who spent more money that we're still not willing to give what we said we would give, which is a super easy fix, is to just give them what you said you would. So we're going to fuck everybody over. And then obviously we'll give you access to offline PvE for EOD owners for 6 months, which doesn't fucking address anything. And we'll get back to this in a minute because this is so transparently just a lie. All of this is a lie. That's why it's kind of interesting that people are like, oh, we won. You're being lied to still. It's very easily provable in black and white text from their CEO or COO, whatever the fuck he is. So he says, temporary access to PvE will be provided as soon as we will reinforce server infrastructure of that particular game mode for a wider audience, because we use totally different servers for that, and now there's a really limited amount of them. So obviously, the idea that you were selling a product and an infinite number of people could have bought the product, are you saying that if they did, you wouldn't have been able to provide that service for them? Because if so, you're selling something that doesn't work, admittedly, from your own words. And obviously, people are pointing out in the comments that you just added more pay-to-win stuff, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the next double down. Because bear in mind, they did this repeatedly. And there was also some leaks that are just so crazy. So hello again. Let me clarify the situation in a little more detail regarding owners of the EOD version and access to the cooperative mode and all other issues. First of all, PvE game mode, this is not DLC. It is. It just is. DLC, in our understanding, is major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that we release after the official release of the game as a themed DLC pack, Scav Live DLC, for example, which will add a lot of new mechanics and content for Scav gameplay leveling. Your understanding of what DLC is fucking irrelevant. You don't get to say, I think that the sky's red, so the sky's red. No, the sky's still blue. You're wrong, and you don't get to steal from people based on you being wrong. That's not how this works. Your understanding is completely irrelevant. It's a DLC, and also the idea that DLC can't exist until after the official release. Spend 3 minutes on Steam, look at a bunch of early access games, and you'll see that you're wrong. It just doesn't take a lot of research or critical thinking. Secondly, this specific functionality of the PvE mode is necessarily located entirely on a separate network infrastructure because essentially you play on our servers only in closed mode. At this stage, it is not possible to launch all players who are EOD holders. Right now, we simply do not have the required amount of resources for this. So again, we're back to the problem of why you're launching a product that you can't facilitate if too many people bought it, right? You should know. And I just want to real quick just go over the idea that you're launching PvE for your game behind a $250 price tag. Damn, that's good. So let's just engage with the idea that these guys are trying to provide a service that people, presumably they want people to pay for, right? So if you think about this for more than 2 seconds, you're going to come to the same conclusion as me. Why is the PvE mode for the game locked behind $250 paywall when the only people willing to pay a $250 paywall the people who are super invested in Tarkov as an idea and therefore would already be playing Tarkov. Like, they're already in the pool and you're trying to blow them up with dynamite, right? What this should obviously have been is like a $25 separate from Escape from Tarkov, the main multiplayer mode, that anybody could buy. Because obviously the people who are more likely to want to play a PvE mode are people that don't already play Tarkov and decided that they don't want to because the skill gap's too large, the knowledge gap's too large, and they'd rather play a offline mode so that they can get used to the game, so that then they can maybe jump into the main game. The idea you're selling it to the biggest fans that are going to spend $250 is fucking wildly incompetent if you needed money. Obviously, you could say, well, the reason they're doing this is because it's true and they don't have the server capability, which is, again, a failure of business. Why the fuck do you need people to be on your servers for a co-op mode, right? There's already literally a better version of this, a single-player Tarkov, fan-made, that you can install mods on, that you can also play co-op on, all peer-to-peer hosted. Why can people who don't have your money and level of, access to developers and things like that make a better product than you? It's just, your incompetence is on display here, if this is the case. It just makes no fucking sense whatsoever to me, whichever way I look at it, that you would be selling PvE for $250 when you would obviously be giving that to people for the lesser amount of money who would have a broader pool of people that would give you money for it. But, there we go. So then they go, we observe your dissatisfaction and have decided that the functionality of the PvE mode will be available for free to all owners of the EOD version at the release of the game, when the server infrastructure will be improved to the required capacity. No, but when's the release of the game then, mate? Because you've never told anybody. Where's the release of the game? It's been fucking years. It's basically like saying, oh, there will be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Cool. How tangible is that? Like, nobody fucking knows. Now you have the opportunity to test this mode by purchasing an unheard edition of the game. It just gives $250 or an extra $100. Or upgrade to this version. We also decided to give a 50% discount when upgrading to the unheard version from the EOD version. So just give us 50% more than the amount that you shouldn't have to give us anyway, because you should have gotten it for free, because it's a DLC. We plan to send one free Left Behind Edition key to everyone who has already upgraded to Unheard Edition at the old price for the EOD version. So you've been scammed, basically, is what he's just said. He's just said, we've just taken your money. Because who agreed to this, right? If you already had EOD, let's do a little bit of math. You had EOD, it was $150 or whatever. You've spent the extra $100 to upgrade to Unheard. Then they've discounted it, so you should be owed $50 back, right? Again, I don't know if it is exactly 50, is it 45, is it whatever it is. I don't know if it was $100 or $90 to upgrade. I don't know. But basically, let's just operate. Is the $10 going to matter in this equation? Let's just say you paid the $100, you've upgraded, you're an idiot. Then obviously they've said, oh, there's a discount, 50% off. We're going to now give you a basic version of the game that is fucking useless to you and keep your $50 instead of just giving you $50 back. Congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. You've literally scammed your audience again, while also scamming them by telling them they'd get everything, all the DLCs for free and then charging them money for it. Fucking congrats. And people were defending this, by the way. Not a lot of people, but there were people saying, oh, I'm fine getting a version of the game. Yeah, okay, they just keep your money. Moreover, so that any player of any version of the EFT can have the opportunity to test the PvE mode, we want to add the ability to purchase a separate early access to this mode. For EOD owners, there will be a 70% discount on the purchase of early access to PvE. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts on this idea. This already should have existed again. We've just gone over this. It should have just been like $15, $20. People buy the PvE mode. If you got this working on peer-to-peer, it literally would have cost you nothing other than the lines of text written on your website in a purchase button for somebody to get access to this, and you could have had a whole new pool of players who don't want to play the online version. Just pure incompetence. Next, regarding special items to Unheard Edition, we plan to make restrictive or balancing changes for these items. So again, you bought this thing, you might spend $250, you might spend $100, you might spend anything in between if you had a lesser version. we're now going to change the things you bought, and you bought the things based on what was in the thing. Like, that we're just going to take this stuff away from you, but we're not going to tell you what stuff we're taking away or how we're going to take away or anything else. So get fucking wrecked, basically. Here comes what should have been a mea culpa. It should have just been, yeah, we fucked up, guys, sorry. We really misread the room, double down, triple down, got caught changing lines of text on a website like some kind of fucking sexual deviant hiding in the corner. We got caught DMCAing people, if the rumors are to be believed, from the Russian community. We got caught with a leak calling people true believers like some kind of fucking cult. But obviously now we're going to come out and say, not sorry, because some people thought they were apologizing here, which I'd just like to say, read what they've said. So I'll read it for you and I'll point it out, because obviously some people struggle to read between the lines. Let me continue my feedback on the current situation. First of all, I would like to say that I'm very sorry that fans and the game community in general are experiencing these feelings. He's not saying he's sorry. He's saying he's sorry you feel that way. He's not saying, oh, we fucked up and I feel sorry for that. He's saying, I'm sorry that you feel bad. That's literally what it says. It doesn't say, I'm sorry about what we've done. There is no accountability here. Unfortunately, I somehow did not foresee the fact of such a reaction, and now I've drawn conclusions for my future decisions. Again, I didn't foresee that we were doing anything wrong. I didn't foresee that you guys would get mad, despite the fact we did notice it, double down, triple down, try to accuse people of plagiarism, got leaked saying that the true believers will eventually understand and will ride with us. Like, man, these guys are fucking delusional. I will briefly summarize the main points. He was right, though. There are some true believers. They'll be in the comments section of this video, because people are going to go, oh, Kira, why are you talking about this? You don't know anything about Tarkov. You don't play Tarkov. What? It doesn't take you don't have to be a professional player at a game to understand when a company's doing something bad. You don't even need to have ever played the game, which I have, by the way. I've owned Tarkov for years. Like Tarkov sometimes, but not a Tarkov content creator, obviously. Don't talk about the game typically. But I've seen people all over Reddit, Twitter, just social media in general, being like, why are people crying? Gamers are such piss babies. They are. Yeah, they absolutely are. You're right. Not about this, though. This is trying to hold a company accountable, and people need to continue doing it because this solves nothing. So now I'm going to briefly summarize my main points. About PvE access, we've decided to just open it for EOD owners for free, but we will do it in waves. As I said before, we don't have server capacity right now. We'll start this process as soon as possible. Not addressed anything, not given a time frame on anything, as soon as possible. They could just say this, wait for shit to die down, wait for people to keep giving them money, and then just not do it. Because obviously we've proven that their word doesn't mean shit, because they've sold unheard and said PvE is locked behind that, despite you should have had access to this stuff for free because they said you would. So their words were worth nothing. We should remember that going forward. We also decided that we will add mod support for PvE mode after release of the game. When's release of the game, but cool, mod support's great. It already exists in the version that doesn't have people that are paid to make it, making it. About the Unheard edition, we will not remove it because they've got that money already. We want to keep the option for those who want to support the game more. There's a million ways you could add options for people to support the game more. Adding pay to win isn't it. You're just ruining your game. It honestly feels like a cash in, because they know that once competitors come out, they're fucked. We will balance items perks in this edition, as well as we'll provide more rewards for those who upgraded with the old price. So again, just more intangibles, just more trust us, guys, even though we've proven we're untrustworthy. Just trust us. We didn't even know. Right, just listen to this. We didn't even know any of this was a problem. The items, what we were doing, like the deceptive practices. We didn't know any of this was an issue. But trust us, now that you've told us and we've doubled down, tripled down, and then eventually decided that we agree with you, even though we don't, we'd still do this if you let us. Trust that we understand balancing, and we're going to make the perks that we're selling for money balanced, and they're not going to be a problem. Even though we didn't know that they were an issue when we put them in, when we changed them, when we made EOD not purchasable anymore and had perks in that people can't have. Trust us, guys. We know what we're doing. Makes no sense. New EOD perks will be balanced too. We will remove prioritized matching options, keep everyone in the same spot. Great. and we will add more unique stuff to highlight the EOD version. In general, we provide the final list of the new EOD perks ASAP. Hasn't come out yet as far as I've seen. We continue to work on patches, new content, events in the game release itself no matter what. Thank you for your time, love and hate. A fucking weird thing to add. And thank you for your increased attention to the current situation. Yeah, I'm sure they're really thankful for what people have been saying. So obviously, he then confirms here, somebody asks him, please confirm EOD owners will receive all content for the game in the future as promised when we purchase the product. Yes, EOD owners will receive all of the DLCs. Now, obviously, we've already got evidence that they don't know what a fucking DLC is, or will just lie to you publicly, repeatedly, so that they can make money from you. They'll lie to you, spit in your open mouth, and while doing so, reach into your pocket, take your wallet out, and pull a 20 out. Well, actually, in this case, it'd be 100 or, a 250, because they're just selling the most ridiculously priced shit in the world. $250 for this. For a game that's not even fully released yet, and they want $250 for some pay-to-win and a PvE mode. Like, man, you're fucking out your mind. But obviously people bought it. People will continue to buy it. Now, obviously, this is the Q&A that got leaked, and I just want to show you this because this was confirmed as real, and these people they're fucking out to lunch, mate. They're crazy. Newest interview with Nikita and Emmy. Suggestion. Make statement. Knowing that admitting a mistake was made is hard. He answers, mistake? This is not a mistake. They say, why? It's time to start preparing for the release. It's time to understand who are the true believers. No one forcing to do anything. It's your choice to just bail it, don't buy it, etc. So, in our run-up to release, what we want to do is just prove that we have the dumbest fanboys on our side ever, and fuck everybody else who has any kind of fucking intelligence whatsoever, any kind of knowledge that they're being fucked over and not wanting to be fucked over. Fuck all those people that have supported our game this whole time. If you're not an actual, full-on, just sword-swallowing cult member, and by sword I mean, obviously, a penis, a corporate penis in this case, just straight to the fucking hill. If you're not one of those people, fuck you, basically. It's time to understand who are the true believers. This is what people say before they drink the actual Kool-Aid that kills them. Prove you're a true believer and die. Like, you shouldn't be seeing this from a company, guys, ever. It's totally understandable that any company wants to have more revenue. Wouldn't it be better to release a support pack while being honest with the community? We are honest with the community. We are not forcing anyone. So again, just completely ignoring the issues. Everyone has a choice. And they do. And I agree in principle with this, with what he's saying. Everyone has a choice. And if your choice is to continue to support this company, you deserve everything that you get from the company. I'm not saying quit the game, by the way. If you really enjoy Tarkov, I understand there's nothing else out there that's probably going to scratch that itch for now. But stop buying stuff. And the minute there is something, abandon ship. Because this company, they have pissed away all goodwill. Or they should have done. There is no coming back from this. I am a firm believer in second chances. But they had the second. They had the third. And then this is what they sincerely believe about you. They wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. So you should know that. Going forward, at least, you should consider this. I would ask if there is some kind of money issue for EFT, should we be worried about the full release? Everything is fine and going as planned. No company will ever say, yeah, we're having financial problems. Never going to happen. Even if they were, they ain't going to say shit, so this means nothing. I've seen some people saying, they confirmed that everything's fine. Find me a company ever that has said on record, yeah, we're having financial problems. It doesn't happen. It's never going to happen because then people abandon ship and then it gets worse. It's a snowball rolling downhill. As soon as it starts rolling, it gets bigger, it gains momentum, and then you do eventually go bankrupt. So they're never going to say it. Do you plan on addressing the community again anytime soon? Your post on Reddit, unfortunately, wasn't received well by a majority of the community. They still feel like they are waiting for the right response. They wanting to be as they want and feel. Comment from Nikita, important part, we can't give PvE to everyone. It's too expensive and technically hard right now. Those who will to support still get this option. Are there any other solutions being contemplated since the reception to the Reddit thread was not good? No. Is there any plan to back out or try to put water on that fire aside from the EOD features mentioned on Reddit? No, we are continue working hard, preparing updates for everyone. No more harsh changes. Obviously, they went back on this, sort of. At least they said they were going to. Which, again, people are saying that they've won. The community's won. You've been given nothing at this stage. You've literally been given nothing other than more promises, which we've proven that they have no problem breaking. And also behind the scenes, before this came out, obviously they knew this was going to come out publicly at some point, have proven that they also just don't care. Even seeing the backlash, they literally feel that you're wrong. You're all wrong and you're just whiny piss babies, essentially. We continue working hard, preparing updates for everyone. No more harsh changes. It is an important moment in the history of EFT, but I feel that is what's needed, I believe. So again, they're fine fucking you all over and seeing the backlash because they think this is what's needed. Like they want to purge their community of the non-believers. Like it's honestly mad that I'm saying that sentence, but that is actually what he's saying. It sounds like a cult. Will the new items that come with the Unheard Edition be only in PvE or PvP servers too? They are PvP and PvE, as well as the new EOD item. There's an issue with this as well. There's an actual item they're putting in the game that allows you to like call in your friends list into the raid you're in, which is just I think that's also paywalled, and if that's the case, you might as well just put an item in that says when this gets spawned in, everyone quits the game. It's that fucking stupid. Can we get a bit more info on how the most controversial features will work, namely summoning teammates? I guess that was well timed. Any limitation to prevent abuse, scabs not shooting players with high karma. Will those be only for PvE, or are they still being worked on? It's been worked on, and Friend Summoner will be available to get for other editions too. So yeah, I guess more people can get it, but obviously it's a stupid fucking idea, right? Obviously they confirm here, will it be in PvE only? It's a cool mechanic for PvP too. One of the most discussed subject regarding the whole situation is the removal of the DLC line on the EOD on the website. What? So this was proven. People, you can way back machine the website and see that they literally removed the line of text that says that EOD gets all future content. They went in and actively chose to remove that, and then obviously acting surprised here that this existed. Would it be possible, since we're all under multiple NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, to be more involved? What I mean by that is having more insight in communications, patch notes ahead of release, material to prep our communities for future updates, for feedback, etc. We will think something out. Never going to happen. If this is proven, obviously, with this being leaked, they're never going to give you any access, because they know if you have like 20 people that are under an NDA for a video game, they're probably not going to sue you anyway, even if they knew that you leaked the thing. But one of those people will just anonymously send this to somebody, and then they'll leak it, and nothing's ever going to happen. It happens constantly with video game stuff, as somebody who regularly posts NDA stuff that people have sent me. I'm going to be honest, I think this being in PvP is a bad idea. It's going to make RMT, real money trading, go through the roof, to be honest, or stream sniping. And they said, I don't think so. We can always restrict it. Obviously, this company doesn't know what's best for their game or their company. I'm not going to continue going through these. I think that sort of illustrates the point. So there we go. If you are still somebody who believes that you won anything here, I just don't know what to say to you. They've admitted no wrongdoing. They will do this again the first opportunity that they get. They've proven they do not care about anybody who have given them money, who have supported their game from day one, and who would continue supporting their game and giving them money for basically anything that they had that didn't fuck over them or the game. They don't care. They don't care about the streamers, the content creators, the people that play their game day in and day out. All they want is to shamelessly get as much money as they can for something that I think clearly they see the same way that I see, that they have competition come in, and that competition is probably going to do better than them because they're dumb as fuck. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching. I might do like a more scripted version of this at some point with some more stuff that obviously I missed here that would be a little bit more concise and a little bit less rambly. Obviously, I don't think this is the end of the story. I think there's going to be more stuff coming up, but I did want to, cover some of it. I wanted to wait until now to see, where my opinion fell on certain aspects of it, as well as to see what happened with the community and their final responses, instead of just doing it piecemeal, bit by bit with each update, because we knew it wasn't going to be over there. There was way too much backlash for them to just leave it as yeah, actually, fuck you all. That's not a DLC. And you're also, every other game in the genre is plagiarizing us, because that's a thing. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and go buy Game Subs on their website, Anime Girl Thigh, things like that. You can buy it. I think they're having a free shipping on over $40 on their website. If you use my code, you'll get a discount. I get a kickback. Win-win. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.